start. It was established in 1999 by Enver and his wife Honey.
Hello! Welcome back to Exotic Wine Travel. I am your host, Matthew Horkey.
And I'm Shireen Khan.
We're a little bit tired. We kind of didn't want to shoot this video because we've had an insane 3 weeks of traveling all around Hungary by rail and by bus. We just got back from the Balaton wine region. So for those of you who don't know, Lake Balaton is one of the biggest, if not, I think it's the biggest lake in Central and Eastern Europe. It is in Western Hungary. It's a long, shallow lake. And there's one of the 7 big wine regions in Hungary is there, the Balaton wine region. It's broken up into 6 smaller wine regions, right? Yeah. Producers tell us there's about 9,000 hectares of vineyards in Balaton, although they say that's not very accurate because half of that is domestic and homemade wine.
Yeah, in most cases, in many countries as well.
So let's talk about the landscape in general before we even talk about the wines. What do you think of, what about Balaton?
I think first of all, we were both quite surprised. We did not expect a wine region that is so developed, in the sense that it has a lot of facilities for accommodation. There are restaurants as well. But of course, this is off season right now as we are visiting. So a lot of places are not open, but you still see them around. And the most exciting thing for me, I think for you as well, is there are lots of hiking opportunities. The tracks and the paths are marked out, so it's developed for people to hike around, go for tasting and have food and stay at the winery. And
Balaton is beautiful. It's a series of several small volcanic hills, and it's so funny. They call it the Balaton Highlands, and the mountains only go up to They only go up to about 400 meters in height. For you in America, maybe you talk about 1,300, 1,500 feet. But when you look at the landscape, it looks a lot higher than you would expect, right?
Yeah, because I think it's because it's really steep and the mountains are close, encircle all the entire area. Yeah.
So anyways, most of the prime vineyards, it's a problem because most of the prime vineyards are on the south-facing slopes, which faces the lake, which that also means those are prime real estate places for hotels and stuff. But let's get into wines. Unfortunately, we're only able to visit a few wineries on the short trip. I want to thank once again Paraska Koltai from Wine Amore Travel and Daniel Erce from winesofa.eu. But anyways, we had the first village we visited was Chopak. And you know what sucked? Because what happened is we took a train from Budapest to Chopak. The train was late, so we missed a connection in a small village before Chopak. We had to take the local bus all the way across town to a bus terminal, to take that bus terminal all the way to Chopak. We got dropped off in the middle of nowhere in a village, and luckily someone picked us up, and Shireen was mad the whole time.
Was I mad the whole time?
Yeah, you were mad.
Okay.
I wanted to take a little vlog with me, but I thought you would yell at me. But anyways, the first place we visited was Jásdi.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate we got there late at night because he's right on the lake, beautiful views. I'll put a little highlight in there, even though the video will be grainy. What did you think about those wines?
He was very consistent with his wines. The white wines are made in a really linear style and very high acidity. But what I appreciate about his wines that sometimes you don't see in other Hungarian wine is the acidity is so high, but his wines has fruit intensity as well. So they are very nicely balanced. I was particularly very fond of his Cabernet Franc.
I had confidence he would make great wine when Ray picked us up. He's an older gentleman. He was playing classical music. He told us he lived in France for 3 years. He was really fond of the wines of Burgundy and Loire, and his top wines especially were great. I was blown away by a single vineyard, Olaszrizling. It was the best wine I've ever tasted from that grape. From Olaszrizling Grashevino.
Okay, I thought that was what I thought, but you didn't think so.
Yeah, I thought so. It was. Okay. I thought it was incredible. And Balaton has the reputation of old crappy wines that were just used to make in bulk for the Soviet market. But Chopak has 3 producers we've tasted. Obviously, we visited Jásdi. We tasted a wine from Figula in the village we like, and Saint Donat, which you like the Francos quite a bit.
Yeah.
But Mr. Jásdi's doing a fantastic job. I think his wines are very nicely priced too, right?
And back to your Olaszrizling as well, it had amazing mineral notes that you don't typically get from that grape.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So after that, we went to Szászi, and I want to thank Szászi Winery. They were nice enough to provide accommodation for us for two nights. But besides that, this video isn't sponsored or paid for in any way. It's just we were given accommodation for 2 nights, and it was wonderful. Mr. Szászi used to work at the large cooperative in Balaton. Balaton is a hill in the Balaton region. Actually, it's a sub-wine region as well. Beautiful area. And he used to work in the cooperative. Then he started to become a negotiant, bottle wines in the area, and then he started making his own wines from his certified bio vineyards. He uses natural yeast, spontaneous fermentations. What do you have to say about Szászi? The whole experience, not just the wines. Too.
First of all, the accommodation was really comfortable. We had a 2-story house to ourselves with a fireplace. His wife, Henny, makes all the food for us. I think she also cooks for the restaurant, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, the food was awesome.
Really amazing. She also practices law, and she designs all the labels on the Szászi.
Yeah, wine. She paints everything. We'll put it up in the video.
It's a very personal experience. At every touch point in the winery, during dinner and where we stayed, you feel the personality. You feel this personal touch from the personality of the proprietors. Yeah.
And one thing that's really great, the wines are. In addition to that, the food's great. They have a great scenery. Their vineyards face the hills and the lake. But the wines are pretty darn nice too. What do you have to say about those Szászi wines?
I think he's trying to bring a lot more diversity as well. He has more than 10 varieties planted in his vineyard. I'm very fond of most of them. And again, he may not have the kind of fruit intensity like Jásdi, but again, very nice balanced fruit and acidity. And I really like every single one of his wines has this mineral touch.
Every single one of his wines. Sorry for interrupting. We're very stony and flinty up front. Great fruit intensity in the back end. There were a lot, Jásdi made some entry-level, easygoing wines. I think Szászi wines you have to think about, intellectual, but it has top-end great wines. Yeah. And there's something to be said about somebody that focuses specifically really hardcore on white winemaking and ages in large oak casks.
Yeah. One of my favorite wines of his is quite mind-blowing. It's the Olaszrizling. Yeah. With just a little bit, I think 5% of botrytis. And it amazed me how the botrytis, the noble rot taste, did not overpower the rest of the characteristic of the wine. We also tasted a 2003 version of that wine, not from a different vineyard, but it also had a little bit of botrytis. And it aged beautifully, because most people think that with botrytis, you might not be able to age your white wine elegantly or well. And I think he showed that you can do it the way that nature called you to do.
Yeah, I think so too. Wines were excellent. I'm a big fan. Where he's located on St. George Hill, it's a hill behind the Balaton Hill, and it's cool because up the slopes, the hill is probably 300 meters. On his road, there's a couple of high-quality producers there, Bensi, which is biodynamic, 2 hectares, and Zeusz. We didn't get to visit all of them because we were pressed for time, but we hope... Yeah, we hope to make it back there. And honestly, if we go back, we will stay at Szászi's because it's awesome. And I had so much fun with the fireplace both evenings.
I was upset yesterday
because I was making it too hot.
Yeah, it was too hot. I couldn't even sleep in the room because it was too hot.
So, anything else you want to add on Balaton before?
I think when we were there, a lot of people who know Hungarian wine were very excited for us. They sent us a lot of recommendations. So I think it goes to show the potential and how many people who enjoy the wines from the area. So we'll definitely come back.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they have to close it up. Balaton had the reputation of it was a tourist hotspot even during the communist times. So they just had to produce cheap, simple quantity wines that they could sell. But it seems like there's a bunch of small, young producers on the upstart that want to make great wines there. We also give a shout out. This is not sponsored. We paid for it. We had dinner at Villa Kabula. Villa Cabala. It's like an old, kind of looks like an old Dutch British mansion,
House,
almost like on a hill, looking over the lake. Really good preparation. They have a wonderful sommelier there, which is fantastic. We tasted some of the wines there made by the father of the owner of the whole restaurant and guest house, and some of those wines were pretty interesting as well. I'll put them on the screens. Anything else that you want to add?
That will be all.
So hopefully we make it back there in the near future. It's a region that you guys should check out if you're in this area. So guys, if you like this video,
please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Exotic Wine Travel. I will see you
at the next episode.